This novel story goes like this: one day, the world undergoes a great upheaval. Suddenly towers and dungeons appears and monsters comes out of it, making the world fall in chaos as the monster starts attacking humans. The peninsula of Korea was hit especially hard. It was notorious for the endless spawning of towers and dungeons, and the monster attacks were also stronger than any other country. It was complete hell, but only in dark can a brilliant light be born. As the lightning strikes the attacking monster, the parent and her kid looks in relief as a hand is forwarded towards them, and the light in this novel were called heroes. With their power, Korea started to fight back against the monsters, and the towers and dungeons were slowly brought under control. Companies started using the cataclysm as an economic opportunity and started to recover from the situation, and as the time passed together with the heroes, South Korea became one of the world's top superpowers. It became a country where heroes from all over the world gathered, and to combat the increasing monsters and dungeons, it created the world's best hero training center with the top magic and magic engineering technology, which was called Cube Heroes. From all over the world gathered in Cube, beating the intense competition. There also exists a main character in this world to save the world, and also Arif Ral to contest with him. Up until now it was an overview of this world, and the reason I know it because this world wasn't made by a god, it was made by me, the author. However, there is a problem. We see an announcer calling out the first place cadet of the first year, Kim Suho. The world which our author wrote starts to unfold right before his eyes. Seeing Kim Suho's face, he gets sure that it must be the world which he wrote. He starts to wonder how all of it happened, but he is suddenly overwhelmed by the comments of everyone around him about Kim Suho. He notes that he can hear everyone talking from afar, as above the stadium someone is praising their lineup of cadets for this year, calling them outstanding, especially Kim Suho, as he is just 17 years old. Kim Suho is also the main character of this novel, the one who will lead this chaotic world, which will be controlled by either a monster or a hero, and he has a hero's kind and righteous heart, also a special secret that he never reveals to anyone. The author notes about one other guy coming up in the second place. It's a white-haired, golden-eyed dude, Shinjang. Hockey is also the Jinsung Corporation's fourth-generation owner, and he also has the potential that could match the main character, but he is a villain in this novel as in the future. His inferiority complex towards Kim Suho will turn him towards evil, and they would oppose each other like light and shadow, seeing them to standing over there like this. Our author is once again sure that this the novel's world, but then he starts to wonder about his own identity. If he is someone in his novel, he should have a name. Suddenly someone taps on his shoulder asking him to not space out, and he calls out his name as Chandong, though as his face we see a question mark. He asks the other kid if he called him, which he did, as who else is named Kim Chandong here. Hearing that name, he gets shocked and wonders if someone was there from this name in his novel, since he doesn't remember anything about him. He wonders if seeing his face could make him remember something, but he is only able to see a question mark, which freaks him out and surprises him. As well as this was the point, he realized that he was turned into a character he never wrote about once. No set appearance, an old-styled name, and a faint existence with no one paying attention to him, as he has no face, and even in Cube he is the ordinary out of ordinary, a character that won't even interact with the main characters. A character just to fill up the audience. Seats. He is a novel's extra, a speck of dust in the novel. One day he received an email which he wondered what it could be about. We see it's a remake offer for his novel, and learn that our MC has put his novel The Returned Hero on hold due to falling into a slump for the past half year. He finds the person behind the email due to wanting a remake of something that's been put on pause. He stares silently at the email and decides to reply because of the guilt he felt for putting it on pause, and because he thought it was a request from some weird fan, but that response became the cause of it all. Back to the present, our MC washes his face as he is finally getting used to it after 2 weeks and for this whole 2 weeks he has been wearing this face with question mark and realizes that it's in fact not a dream. This world is also from the novel he wrote, and Kim Chun-dong that he possessed is one of the many extras in the novel. He also tried to find out who put him in this world and why, using all sorts of methods, but in the end he did not got any answer now, due to which perhaps he has to stay in this world for a while, and if this world continues until he stopped writing it would be about 10 years, realizing that he gets scared, thinking that he would be stuck in this world for 10 years while mingling with a bunch of teenagers, and he really does not want to get stuck in a suspended novel, as he has a life outside as well. He calms himself down and tries to think of a way back home. The only one he can think for now is to catch up with the main story and to hold on until the middle of the story, after which he stopped writing, and for now he decides to simply endure in this world of a novel, and to do that he has to attend this school cubed. It's a man-made island located near the East Sea, including the future hero cadets. About 50,000 people reside here. It's a modern city concentrated with the world's magic and industry skills and talent, and its existence is why Korea is considered a superpower. It's the heart of the city, and as well as the main stage of his novel, we see him arriving at a huge building. It is the hero training center of Cube. Out of all the students training to be heroes with their special skills called gifts, only the top of the elites are qualified to become Cubs cadets, and the body he possessed is also a Cube cadet, though he does not know what kind of skills it possess, but assumes it to be something, as he was able to enroll into Cube with it, and whatever it might be, he hopes that it's something useful for surviving in this scary school. He enters his class, which is Class Veritas, the center of the Cube. Bark the good and the evil characters, the supporter and the rival, and the main protagonist of the story. All of them are here. All of these characters will form clique soon, which will become a cause for many things, and to spend 10 years with these students, for him things are not looking good already. Now fast forward to evening, as he is walking towards his dormitory without even knowing how his day went, and right as he is monologuing about his high school, he stops in the middle after noticing something. We see it's a delivery for him, which he starts to unbox. He wonders if it's Kim Hajin's personal stuff and gets shocked upon seeing its content. It turns out to be his laptop from his old world. In shock, he wonders, why is this here? And it starts to boot up. It initializes synchronization, and a bright light flashes from it. It actually synchronizing Kim Chu-dong's character with Kim Hajin, and downloads all the settings as well. He starts to remember that these are all the settings that he wrote. He tries to reach out to it, wondering who is doing all this, and suddenly an overlap over his character starts to appear. The synchronization gets to 99%, and the question mark on his face starts to break as well. His laptop also shows him that he has learned a unique authority setting intervention. The glass hiding his face starts to break, and soon enough completely matters, revealing the face of RMC, and as the synchronization completes, all of his stats gets resetted. He looks at his laptop screen, his real face, seeing the notifications around him. He starts to wonder what is happening, and wonders if it's enlightenment. It's an awakening that happens when you go beyond your limits, and it's called enlightenment in this world. And when it happens, all of your skills, gifts, and abilities becomes digitized, so you can see them and you can become much stronger in more efficient way. In simple words, it's a status window. He starts to look at them one by one. Firstly, synchronization and reset, which stands out the most to him, though he is not sure what it means, but due to he got his face back from a question mark, and compared to Chuang's abilities he is very weak, but instead he got points. And the next thing that caught his eye was setting intervention, which he wonders about. Hain realizes that he does not remember writing any ability like that, and wonders what does gaining more importance mean here. Suddenly he realizes that perhaps it means that he needs to become more important in this novel, and the reason For why they gave him this notebook and strange ability is because he has to interfere in this world's main story, just as he is trying to dismiss it all. As another notification pops up, this time about some undisclosed information, he gets pissed knowing that if you want to find a clue to return to his original world, he needs to be obedient and intervene. As told, he calms down and sits down, as even if he don't do anything and wait until the novel finished, there is no guarantee that he would return to his original world, and even if the undisclosed information turns out to not be a clue, he might get a clue somewhere to escape while getting involved with the main characters, and if he wants to do that, he needs to get stronger to endure the main story. In his novel, the concept of leveling up does not exist. You cannot increase stats as you like, so the only methods is points, a very valuable commodity, and to use them most efficiently he decides to invest in luck. Luck is not limited to probability of finding an unknown reward in dungeon, earning money, bonus stats, interpersonal relationship. It's a scam-like effect that takes effect throughout daily life. And invariable stats like luck cannot be raised with points, but it might be possible to convert his points to SP. As such, he gives it a shot and invests the SP in luck, and right after that he gets a notification that a mysterious luck is in effect, and such the effect applies to the luck stat itself and increases it by 0.1%. And since the protagonist Kim Sulo's magic power is around 9, Hain thinks that he has pulled off something amazing. He decides to invest rest of the SP into perseverance, since he would need it to endure the boot camp training, and due to his high luck, his perseverance also gets a bonus increase. Suddenly he is met with a warning stating that from now on invariable stats cannot be modified with SP. Hain gets annoyed and calls it quite petty, though he somewhat guessed that tricks would have its limits, but he is thankful that he was able to at least modify luck and perseverance. He suddenly remembers that he also had another 10,000 SP from novice consideration. He starts to think on where to use that as well, but ends up putting it on hold and think it through a bit more before using it. Now in the classroom, the professor commends everyone for the morning training and introduces himself. He introduces himself as Kim Suk. He would be in charge of them for the next year. He notes ranking points 3,850, world ranking 9,737, and upper intermediate grade 5. According to the Asakation's classification, Professor Su gets straight to the point. He warns them that Cube is not as fun as they think. The absolute indicator here are their grades. Without them they will fall behind, and statistically less than half of Cube cadets will graduate without being paid, and as this institution trains heroes, they will judge them through a precise and strict criteria. He then orders everyone to follow him as the first schedule is deciding their main weapon. He puts his hand over the lock and a gate opens. We see they have arrived at some kind of armory with bunch of different types of weapons to choose from, as they all are frozen in awe. The professor yells at them to hurry up and choose a weapon that they would like to use, and once they have chosen their main weapon they won't be able to change it for the next 6 months. As such, they should be careful in choosing them. We see bunch of students choosing their weapons such as bows, rapier, etc. Heen observes that the main characters have chosen their weapons without any problems and realizes that it's his turn now, and since his current stats are not enough to wield weapons used by cadets, he has to be careful in choosing, and if he raises his stats to wield these weapons from now on, it would decrease the efficiency of his investments. So the weapons that he is able to use will have a few conditions. He looks for a weapon that he already wielded in his original world and something that he would be able to adapt to the quickest, and as he chooses his weapon, a student notices it. Everyone starts commenting that if he is picking that for real, and the professor is also shocked upon noticing it. He confirms with Harjin if this is really his weapon choice. Everyone starts to stare at Har, and the professor asks that he recalls he used a sword at the military academy. He simply replies that he decided to switch. The professor simply agrees while saying that a cadet makes all the choices at cube, whether it's a good decision or not. A cadet must take all the responsibility for it. Though hearing all that, he is not fazed. In his decision he starts hearing everyone mocking him for picking that weapon, but he explains that even in this world this weapon is good, at least for those who cannot use magic. The bullets often used in this world are called magic bullets because they are infused with mana. They have much more power than a metal bullet. However, even these merits, the main reason people neglect these weapons is because they have clear limits. The first reason is that no matter how strong a wielder is, the damage it can do is fixed. The second reason is guns have shallow origins and barely any history to them. This world is made up of legends and mythology. The artifact from the legends and myths actually exists, and the deeper the origin, the higher the weapon grade is. That is why the cadets favor old, prehistoric weapons over modern weapons. They trust their own skills instead of relying on magic bullets. Even if they hit their limit, they borrow the power from the armament to go one step higher. Though Fora he thinks that it all has nothing to do with him, he does not consider himself some main character. He has never touched a sword either, so he won't be a match for other cadets. Choosing this weapon might not be too bad of a choice for him. He can use it immediately, and just by using it he can gain SP from standing out, and since he has chosen his weapon, it's time to get his gift. It is an ability that could very well be called a superpower. Usually only one gift is given to a person, but there are few exceptions. The holder of a gift that has yet to be manifested and the one that has already manifested the sword sync gift. Kim Suho, noticing No, asks if she is here to train as well. She replies, why else would she be here? But Suho asks since there aren't many people here after classes, and upon seeing her, Suho also remembers that there is another sharpshooter in their class. Hearing which, she realizes it's Hajin, on whom for some reason she is annoyed as well, prompting Suho to ask her on why is she making such a face. She replies she cannot call him a sharpshooter as he can barely shoot a range of one kill, and she assumes that he has given up on becoming a hero, and if he drops out in the middle, so it won't go on his records, so he must be stalling. Hearing all that, Suho tells her to not say such stuff like that easily. Non gets confused by it, and Suho is standing and smiling nicely. She shouts at him to not nag at her, and he apologizes. She tells him to leave if he is not here to train. Outside, he seems to be listening into their conversation, wondering if someone was talking about him. Fast forward, he is again in front of his laptop, thinking that since Kim Suho was able to become the greatest hero with just one gift, it would mean gifts are really important, and the first gift, writing, gives 10,000 SP, which he cannot miss. He first writes a simple gift which consumes his 10,000 SP. The gift also edits itself on its own, which surprises him, and it's usable on all ranged weapons, meaning not just firearms but bows as well. It's also a growth type gift. It may be bad right now, but it can be raised, making it much better in the long run. As such, he decides to go with it. With that, he feels ready, as now he has to survive with this gift from now on until the main story ends. Now, next day in class, the teacher is explaining about the towers and dungeons while Heen is thinking how few lines he scribbled without much care has ended up in a textbook, and if others knew about it they would shed tears of blood, but for him he is breezing through the lecture thanks to his observation and reading gift. As its name states, he can observe everyone in his field of vision and can also read the settings chronological timeline on his laptop without any intermediary. Non is sitting all quietly through the class, and the teacher finally ends her lecture, and just as she leaves, she throws a tantrum of not being able to show any practical skills and only reading theory all the time. Suddenly a guy comes and tells the whole class to report to the plaza in 20 minutes. Hearing that, she gets excited. Unlike some students, the student also informs them that it's for practical training, annoying Heen since everyone knows on what type of content this class will cover. The professor moves on with announcing the teams first each will have for members to Warriors 1, sharpshooter and 1 supporter unless there are special circumstances. These will be the team until the mid-semester exam. The teams also have been mixed with high and low ranking cadets so that there will be no issues, and he finally tells them to find their teammates. Seeing his teammate Har is in shock, thinking that there is no way he can be on team with that person. We see he is in the same team as Yunia. Everything is as per the novel. There are numerous lead roles that exist to interact and clash with the protagonist to lead the story along, but among those lead roles Yunia is definitely special. She is the top favorite to succeed careers as top guild essence of straight and also a successor of the reputable Yu family. In the first half of the novel she clashes with Kim Suho, but eventually she becomes influenced by him and becomes a strong supporter, which makes connecting with Yunia very important, as he can get more SP as he become more involved in the story. Hence Hajin decides to make sure to grab Yona's attention during today's training. The rest of the team greets Yunia, Jin, Hosang and Huki. Yona is annoyed and thinks of the dialogue choices in her mind and decides to greet them gently and talks very formally with them, making them feel weird since they are the same age. Yona looks for the last member and Heron comes along while calling himself out. She asks for his introductions, and Heron knows that she hates people who aren't confident, but suddenly the other members jump on him, asking about the weapon that he chooses, while informing him that he is famous within first year for choosing that kind of weapon. The professor comes behind him, asking if they really free enough to be chit-chatting here. They get scared and the professor tells everyone that the coordinates of the monsters that each team will fight has been sent to their smartwatch and orders them to move quickly. Hajin teens arrive at some beach location as they are making a run towards the ocean. Yona tells them to get ready as they will be arriving soon. As they are talking about the monsters information, Heron is running behind them and is already tired, and even though he is sure that his stamina stats are above average, all he can do is just keep on their tail, making him start to wonder if this is the average standard of a cube cadet. They finally stop as Yunia states that they have reached it's the training zone of the 8 coast, and the monster that appears here, black hump octopus, and as it appears Yona immediately starts their strategy meeting the low intermediate grade monster black hump octopus. The main body's attack power is not very strong, but the problem is the humps on his head. When it detects danger, it shoots out baby octopuses from its hump to attack its enemies. Not only does it shoot out dozens of blood-sucking octopuses in one go, each baby is very dangerous because it can turn normal humans into mummies in a second. Hosang adds that once the battle starts they should prioritize the throng of baby octopuses first then, and since there are dozens of them and needs to take him care of quickly, Hazuki suggests Heron since he is the sharpshooter, but Yona replies that she will handle them and orders the warrior to stand back and preserve their magic power since they need to cut down the black hump octopus in one hit because it has strong regeneration abilities. Heen is a bit surprised and assumes that perhaps she is trying to exclude him from the training. She starts to leave while asking if everyone is ready, and without listening to Hajin, she commands to begin the operation, which annoys him. The octopus completely destroys the boat and Hosen is on land, trying to attract his attention towards him, as the first thing they need to do is to lure him to the shore. The octopus notices him and goes underwater and rushes towards him, and as it surfaces back up, Hosang starts running while Hazuki and Hain gets ready to attack, and at last Yona also appears with her main weapon, a whip. The octopus starts attacking with his hump and launches baby octopuses onto them. Hosen starts sweating, noting that it has already started exploding. We see all the baby octopuses are coming right towards him. As he is trying to run away, suddenly her appears and takes care of all the baby octopuses. Seeing the power of Yonia, who is ranked 7th in cube, Hosang is left in awe. He thanks her and immediately runs away, leaving her on her own to defend. As Yonia starts using her whip again, the octopus gets agitated and attacks her, but she dodges and jumps up in the air but gets attacked by a baby octopus in midair. Hazuki shouts at her to watch out, but she is late to notice as the monster gets too close, but Hain shoots the monster and saves Yonia from it. She is surprised that the one who saved her is none other than Kim Hajin. SP can be exchanged for stat points and increases when Hajin importance rises, but for extra like himself it's difficult to attract much attention from the start, hence the only other option he has left is to intervene in the protagonist's stories just like he did right now by saving Yonia, as it made other members of his team shocked as well. Yonia tries to lash out at him about her order to stay back but is cut short as the octopus launches his attack. Once again we see tons of baby octopuses coming for them again, and Yonia gets nervous seeing them. He tries to calmly assess the situation, counting their number to be only in tens, and since they have low intelligence he can clearly see their attack paths, hence the point at which he can perform the best is right now. He starts using his gift, bullet time. If it's a gift that he created, when used it slows time for 3 seconds, meaning for 3 seconds he can clearly see all of their movements. After that, it's as simple as to shoot these baby octopuses. We see the countdown going off quickly as Hajin keeps on shooting as well, and finally as the countdown ends, all while Yonia is looking back towards Heen, all the baby octopuses are defeated. She is quite shocked and the hump of the octopus is exposed. She quickly makes use of this opportunity and grabs it using her whip while telling everyone to attack. Both Hazuki and Hosang jumps over to attack and uses magic liberation, and as Heen is defending Yonia, both Huki and Hosen lands a powerful blow to the octopus. The octopus finally falls down after that attack, and Hajin asks if it's finally over. Yonia silently glares back at him and Heen lays on the ground, claiming to be all exhausted. Their clear time starts getting calculated and it is 58 minutes and 58 seconds, ranking them on the 16th place. Seeing their teens ranking, Yonia is quite shocked. Their battle was also recorded on video through a drone, and the footage will be sent to their smart watches so they can analyze them on their own fast forward. And she is quite disappointed by her ranking, even though she knows that everyone will be graded individually. She is also jealous of the fact that Kain has scored higher than her, which is ranked for out of 100. While staring at Shin, she thinks that she wanted to make sure and split up Chai Noon's family right from the start, but if this is all she could manage, how can she even imagine winning? She observes that Shin is staring at Non while smiling. Seeing this, she gets pissed and slams on her desk and gets up while approaching Noon's desk, but suddenly she hugs her from behind with excitement. A stark change in her emotion. She asks him about her battle, and Non replies that they are only in 4th place, unfortunately, and flips the same question to Yonia, who hesitantly tells her that she got 16th place, but Non is surprised to hear that since they had a gunman, and she points towards Hajin while saying that it would have been their good luck if that didn't slow them down. But Yeon's opinion is different. She thinks that while it's true they wasted 50 minutes on a route that should have taken 10 minutes to travel due to him, but on the contrary he pulled more than his weight during the monster battle that followed. The dozens of baby octopuses that monsters shot out were destroyed before they could even reach the ground, which makes her doubt if something like that is possible with regular magic bullets. She starts to get curious about him and wonders just who is he now. At the training room he checks up his alarms to see how much he has ranked up. We see many of his stats increase, especially due to his luck, and as expected by him his luck was in effect during the training session today, and his SP also increased quite a bit. It was quite worthwhile for him getting himself involved with Yu near. The stats also increased quite a bit from exercise, and he is sure that this is all thanks to his enlightenment and luck. He decides to head back since he has up his stats and have exercised enough for today. Now at dormitory in Yun's room, she is seen analyzing their training session from the morning. Specifically Hajin, she notices that into 0.78 seconds he shot 60 bullets with his weapon within that time, which makes her wonder if it's even possible to pull the trigger 20 times within a second, or did his weapon have a continuous trigger button? His reflexes are certainly extraordinary, but his health is strangely lower than other cadets, and to change his weapon so sudden there are too many strange occurrences here not to mention she does not remember seeing him at the Agent Military Academy. Suddenly, she gets a text from Shin asking her on what is she up to. She blushes and smiles upon seeing it and replies that she is analyzing the video, making Shin think that she is doing something annoying. Again, she texts him that if he is going to take over the guild, he should hurry up and analyze people as well. He replies that are there even people on her team? He thought they were all trash, but suddenly he asks about he and she smiles and thinks that Shin pretends to be disinterested, but in the end he was curious after all, calling his this part really cute. She tells him that he seemed like someone who could pull his own weight, suitable enough for rank 934.